Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to spend some time out here in the backyard. We're going to put together 2 fall containers and we're going to do a little garden tour in this space to give you some updates on how some of our recent projects are progressing and to give you an idea of what my garden looks like here in the middle of October. Before we get too far into it, my people who are super observant, can you see? Can you see the new gear that Jenny has on? Yes, Creekside merchandise is now available on the website. We will go into all the different details once our project is complete. First we work, then we have fun shopping. So just know that the Creekside merchandise is now available online. Again, I'll go into all the different details of what everything is because we waited a long time to get exactly what we wanted and we're very happy with it. So what are we going to be planting today and what in the world are we doing? Well, here we are in what I call the forest pansy bed because we have this big, beautiful forest pansy red bud that has already dropped probably half of its leaves. They are down in the garden. I have not done any kind of fall cleanup. I am going to wait until the tree drops all of its leaves and then we will take care of that. We have not had even a frost yet. We've had some chilly nights, but not a frost thus far. Here, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do and then we'll take a little tour and give you a little update on everything. We're going to be planting the 2 hummingbird planters from Unique Stone. We have the rectangular one that is to the right of the path when you come in. And then we have the square one right over here, the little companion piece that has this fun, sweet little evergreen topiary in it. And so we're going to underplant the topiary as well. We are going to use, of course, some fantastic fall annuals and some perennials. If you've been around me for any length of time, you know that I am a huge fan of violas. Here we have the Beacon Rose. Y'all, look at that color. Isn't it just so sweet? I just think it's a very sweet, romantic look. It's not bright yellow. I will use those in other places, but in this space, I just love that Beacon Rose. So we're going to use those. We have got some of the beautiful perennial new look Artemisia, that great silver color, which is going to pair beautifully with the wild berry euchera. Of course, it will be a perennial as well. Nice and evergreen. In the dead of winter, it may not look amazing, but it will still be there and look great. It will flush out in early spring. So we've got that euchera, and then we have got a cardoon. Cardoon is just a great fall plant. I'm going to use it for foliage. You can eat it. It has like a celery taste to it. We're not doing that. We're just going to use it as a great thriller and filler in the rectangular hummingbird planter right here. Now, typically this space gets, it's considered a full sun spot, which is what I want it to be since I've got the cardoon and the violas in there. The wildberry is considered more of a shade perennial. However, I know my garden, and going into winter, we're in fall, going into winter, this is going to be a fall, winter, very early spring planting. That winter sun is much, much, much gentler on the plants. So it will be able to handle this sun and it will be fine. Now, if I left it in full sun, say in the summer, June through September, it would fry like a pancake. So we are not going to do that. At the end of the season, what I will do, when I say the season, this season, so when I'm ready to plant it for my either early spring, summer planting, I will take out that euchera and apply it somewhere else into the garden. So when you're planting your perennials in your containers, which is a wonderful thing to do, when they outgrow it or the season changes and you want to do something different, you don't toss them, you just take them and apply them somewhere else in the garden. So that is what we're going to do. Give you a little update on this space. I like showing my garden kind of in real time with real events that are happening so that if you are in a similar environment, growing zone that I am, then you can kind of get a feel of, okay, yeah, hers looks just like mine, or man, mine looks a lot better than hers, or whatever, right? So I just like to keep it real with you. Again, I have done nothing but as far as try to maintain the weeds. We fertilize, of course, in late winter, early spring. No pruning has happened. We'll start on this side right now. These are the hydrangeas, are the Limelight Primes, and y'all, they are starting to turn. Now, they're not Michigan pink, but for the South, they have got a nice little rosy hue to them. They're not solid brown, so I am very happy about that. I will absolutely take that every day of the week. Of course, I think one of the big things that you're going to notice is that lemon coral sedum is just rocking it out. It will be a perennial for me. Yes, there are some weeds in there. We'll deal with that for another day. We have Scentlandia. I've told you before that I am going to move Scentlandia because it is spreading, but it does have the beautiful fall color that holds the fall color really well. So we're going to leave it in here probably until late winter, early spring. But can you see some of that red that's showing up? This whole plant will turn that color. So love, love, love this. And I've got 3 of them. They are huge. Yeah, they're rocking it out. They're gonna give me great fall color for sure. As is Gatsby Gal. Look at the Gatsby Gal hydrangea. Now she is an oak leaf hydrangea, of course. Does full sun, it can handle the full sun. Typically they can't, but Gatsby Gal can. Do you see that beautiful burgundy foliage down there? I'm so excited. I cannot wait for, fall is here, y'all, but I can't wait to embrace it even more. So just coming down through here, kind of the same thing. Everybody's doing well. Generous Gardener, she is out of control. She's large and out of control. I did kind of put her back together a couple weeks ago, and I've got a limb that has come out. I could have pruned her back. I didn't want to because I'm going to have loads and loads of rose hips. Rose hips, of course, are where we did have flowers, and then once the petals fall off, you're left with the hip. And the hip, when you allow it to be on there, they can turn different colors: oranges, yellows, reds. Generous Gardener, it looks like she's going to be more in the orange family. This will make great like fall decorations. You can of course leave it on the plant. She is doing a couple of little blooms here, but you can either leave it on the plant and or you can use them in like fall arrangements. I'm hoping that the camera is picking up on these, but there's a bunch of them on this plant and they're everywhere and they are big and they are beautiful. So I decided to just embrace the fall offerings from the Generous Gardener, let her be out of control for now, and then come late winter, early spring. So for me, when I say late winter, I give her a hard prune like end of January, because the roses are very cold hardy, especially for me in my North Carolina Zone 7B. So I like to prune her very early so that when she does start to flush out, I'm not cutting off that new fresh growth. So for me, it's kind of the end of January, beginning of February. Forest Pansy bed is doing great. There are leaves everywhere. Some of the annuals are still hanging in. Those Rocapuco double impatiens are loving life. Y'all, Tiny Quickfire. Tiny Quickfire is new from Proven Winners this year. They sent me 3 and they are all, again, look at that color. We don't get this in North Carolina, in the Piedmont, where the heat and the humidity is. Go to the North Carolina mountains and you get tons of it. You go to Michigan, they're probably even brighter red than this. But I am just so happy with this Tiny Quickfire. It is such a cute little plant. Will only get to be maybe like 2 feet tall, 3 feet wide. Loves the full sun, and you can just see that beautiful rosy color. Starts out a creamy white, of course, and then turns that. So Proven Winners sent me these in late winter, and they were 1 gallons, and they were on the small side of a 1 gallon, as far as they weren't fully developed. Plop them in the ground, and they're doing really well. So, update on that. The fountain we have turned off. We need to clean it. It's got some fun stuff growing in it, so we're gonna get that cleaned out. The Artist Blue Ageratum, y'all. If you plant, on my word, do this next year. This Artist Blue Ageratum planted it in early spring and it is still holding on. Now, does it look amazing? No, but does it still provide lots of sweet nectar for my pollinators? Absolutely. So we're going to come back around here, give you an update. That blew my mind of Ovulus when I took out some of the early spring plantings, put this in, and look how well it has done. I mean, just gorgeous. Love of Ovulus. Now, quick update on the violas and pansies that we planted here in the back. They are doing quite well. I've had to hand water because we have been so dry. We've only gotten one decent rain, and I tell my people that when they come to the house, I'm like, if I don't clean up, it's because I feel comfortable with you. And so I feel comfortable with you, and I left out my hose. So there you go, sweet friends. But these are all violas right here. I did a mix of yellow and purple, and they are doing quite nicely. The white shishi camellias, oh my gosh, I'm just waiting on them. They're fully loaded with buds, and they're going to explode and be beautiful. All right, I need y'all to go ahead and prepare your hearts, because this is what I tell my kids, go ahead and prepare your heart for this. The deck boxes are going to be coming out soon. I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the annuals, clean out, completely take out the soil, put in fresh compost, fresh soil, the whole 9 yards, and then replant with fall, winter annuals, maybe sometime this week. We will see how things progress, but like I said, prepare your heart, it's going to happen. These little pansies, oh my gosh, y'all, look at that. Aren't they happy? I mean, just great. So I like doing a mix of pansies and violas. Violas tend to be a little bit more heat tolerant and cold tolerant than pansies. Violas do, I don't know if I said that right. Violas are more cold and heat tolerant than pansies. That way, doing a little bit of mix, I'll have flowers basically all season long. And then finally, the last update before we go to do our project is the update on the Weston urns, as far as I used 3 different soils to see if there is any difference in how they grow. So this Western urn right here has a spoma potting soil in it. Very happy. I mean, very nice, right? Those violas have filled in quite nicely. My rosemary is looking good. So right now it is doing great. This is Berger. Berger is a Canadian company. They are wholesale only. So the reason that we're using Berger is because we as professional growers are going to switch to this next year. So Berger is going to be our mix that we use for our plants in production. I wanted to test it in the garden to see how it's working, and it's doing fantastic. When I introduced this, I had some Canadian people going, I have never heard of this product, it's not available for us. You probably never heard of it because it is for growers, it is for wholesale growers, it is not a retail product. We are looking at having some available here at the nursery in the spring. Maybe we ship it online, I don't know, but just know that if you're my local people, we're gonna try to have it available for you, because one, it comes in a nice bigger bag, and that's always helpful when you're doing a ton of pots. But Berger is doing quite nicely as well. I mean, one, and then these sweet little violas. Look how cheery they are. I love it. All right, and then the last one that we did is right here. The third one is the Proven Winners potting soil. I have only used Proven Winners for years and years because I have just loved it so much. Obviously, she's doing quite well, as all 3 of them are. So I think in that shot, you can probably see all 3 urns. And right now, I can't tell a difference. They are all doing amazingly well. I'm super excited about it. As Jerry said when we did this little test to see if there was a difference in the soil, we hope at the end of this project that there's absolutely 0 difference, that they all look amazing. So that is the update on this. So now, I'm gonna get the camera set up and we're gonna put some fall annuals in some containers. All right, my friends, so here we are right beside this little square container. This is, again, the square hummingbird planter from Unique Stone. Of course, there's no secret that I absolutely adore Unique Stone's products. Now, I know that the sun hopefully is going to be okay because it's a little challenging spot right now with the way that the sun is behaving. So hopefully you can see the container and what we're doing. We are keeping it very, very simple. My fall containers, I keep extremely simple. I do more elaborate stuff, you know, in the spring and the summer. Fall is about simplicity and keeping it simple. So that is what we are doing. Now, this little cute little guy right here is actually a blue point juniper, and blue point junipers can get to be like a nice sized tree. They'll have a little bit of that blue hue to them, but this is a patio tree. So we bought it at the nursery. We had them in early spring as a patio tree form. So it's a standard. So it has been trained up in this manner. If you want to train one that you have, I would say, yeah, absolutely go for it. Now, you'll notice I also still have my tag because I knew that I would not remember exactly what this is. So what I do is I bury the tag in the back of the container. That way when I have cases like this and I'm getting ready to do a video and you're all like, hey Jenny, what's that? What is that shrub? And I'm going, oh, I can tell you exactly because I have my tag in there. Now I do also have hoary hoary and then my bucket because I had caliber koas in here in the throughout the summer. But I want to take out some of this soil because I'm going to add some fresh land and sea to it. Yes, the blue point has nice roots in here. That's okay. If I cut some of these roots, it's all right. Don't worry about it because I'm not completely stripping the plant. You know, I'm not getting in there and destroying all the roots. You're doing like a little bit of a root prune, and root pruning is actually a good thing for trees and shrubs, especially when they're in containers like this, because you're cutting back some of the roots. I'm going to be adding in some biotone for the Artemisia and of course the land and sea. So I'm putting nutrition back in. I just want to make sure that we have some good fresh soil. At some point, yes, I will have to take out this little patio tree, and I can either put it in the ground, I can put it in a bigger container, I can do whatever I want. But if I leave this in here for so many years, it's going to get pot bound and it's going to suffer. So I'm honestly thinking that might have to happen this coming spring because there's a good bit of roots in there. So what I did is I just trimmed out some around the edge, and then I'm going to come back with some biotone. Of course, biotone is amazing for healthy root growth. It is a starter fertilizer. That is what we recommend for all of our customers when they are doing planting anything, right? Whether you're planting annuals, perennials, trees, shrubs, absolutely use your biotone and get that in there. So it will help not only the juniper, but it will help, of course, the Artemisia as well. And I just realized that I left my land and sea over there, so let me go grab it right quick. I am using the land and sea instead of the potting soil. You absolutely at this point could use the potting soil, but since this little juniper is in here and has been in here, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and use the land and sea and then add in my Artemisia in there, and it will all be fine. I absolutely promise. So this particular one is new look. Artemisia is also known as Dusty Miller, and it is a perennial sun to part shade. So I'm gonna see, I really don't know how many I can fit in here. I know I could probably fit in 4. So just take your hoary hoary and just kind of chop you out a little section right there so that you can get these guys in here. And I chose to do the Artemisia. I think it would be really pretty just to do a solid planting of this all the way around the base. These will absolutely grow and fill in and develop. So I am not going to jam pack it in here. I definitely am gonna add it, but not crazy. I'm not having any kind of event or party that I feel like I have to get a ton of them in there, and I may end up just doing 4. I don't know. So the height on this is 9 inches tall and the spacing is 9 inches wide. So I do think I will just make it simple, right? That's what we said we're gonna do. We're gonna do the 4 corners. And that way, because this hummingbird planter, I wanna say it may be a 12 by 12. If it's not, it's really close. So that will spacing them out. We're getting them nice and in there, and we give them room to fill in and be happy. It will not take long at all for you to see good growth on this. So I'm saying, you know, especially if our warmer temperatures kind of prevail and continue, which, I mean, we're only in the middle of October. It's North Carolina. That's going to happen. So we're just going to stick 4 of them in there. You notice I didn't go in there and like tear up the roots on the Artemisia because they're not crazy what I would call root bound. So if you wanted to gently, you know, spread the roots apart, you could. I just don't, there's not a need. When you have a root bound plant, it's like the roots are completely wrapped around and there's just, you just can see no extra soil or anything like that. These are certainly not in that category. So we're going to clean them off, top dressing with Land and Sea. It is a great way to retain moisture. It also retains the temperature, so it helps to regulate it. Think of it as like insulation, whether that's in the summertime. It helps to keep the soil more cool, the roots more cool, and in the wintertime it helps to keep the plant roots more warm. It's just pure insulation in there. So I forgot, let's see, make some room. I'm gonna put my tag back in for both the Blue Point and the Silver Bullet. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop on over to the rectangular hummingbird trough and we're gonna plant it. All right, my friends, so we just came over here. I think Brenna might be in the shot a little bit. She's looking for a bug. Hey, Bee, come on out, good girl. So rectangular hummingbird planter. This is still probably that 10 to 12 inches deep and it's probably 24 inches long, just to kind of give you a reference. And I would say 8 inches tall. So this really actually holds a good bit of soil in here. Now, again, if you follow me for any length of time, you know that when we do a fresh container, this was completely emptied. Actually, when my mama and I came in here to take the summer annuals out, she got one impatient, I got the other. We lifted the thing out, complete solid block of roots. So always start with fresh soil when you change from season to season, unless you have something that's already in there that's staying. Beautiful, nice layer of Land and Sea compost on the bottom, and then the Proven Winners potting soil on top. Gonna go ahead and just apply a nice layer of biotone on the top. That way, as I am planting, it all gets mixed down in here. Now, again, we're gonna keep it simple. So what we're gonna do is, I have got the wildberry euchera in here, and that is going to go on the corners, the back corners. These are nice 1 gallon plants, so I want to plant them and make sure they're nice and kind of deep down in there. That way, when either I have to water it or it rains, there's plenty of room, you know, to put water in here and the plant's not sticking up super high. That is a difference in a container as opposed maybe to the landscape, right? We have clay soil in the natural native red clay soil. So we tend to plant our plants a little high, especially our trees and shrubs. That way they don't rot in the wintertime. Containers, different. Container gardening and landscape gardening are very, very different. So in the fact of like how much do you have to water, maybe what kind of soil you use, obviously, right? Those kinds of things. Okay, very simple, y'all. 2 wild berries on either corner. We're gonna put the cardoon right there in the middle. Leaves are already filling up my pots. Now, Cardoon is fun because it is going to get some height to it, completely different leaf structure than my wild berries. Still has that little bit of that silvery look to it, which the wild berry has as well. This is going to, let's see if it tells me, full sun, right? And best well-drained, yep. Spineless edible leaf stalks are similar to celery. Does not tell me a size on the tag because it's a pretty generic tag, but it will get, Cardoons will get some good height to them. Just like with mustards and kale, if you notice you have some of your older leaves that are turning yellow, they just look sad, you can just go in there and pinch them off. If you want to take your clippers, you can, but I find that those older leaves will easily just come off. So I'm actually going to go ahead and clean up this plant. I'm going to use my snips here and snip these guys because my wild berries are nice and full and something's been chewing on these guys on those older leaves. So we're just going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit. There we go. Very simple, right? Make my hole. And when I have a trough like this, I tend to usually like to keep it kind of what I say, like well balanced. So putting the same euchera on each side. Don't always do that, but in this case, I definitely am. All right, we talked about root-bound plants, pot-bound plants. This starts to qualify. So what I'm gonna do is grab that hori-hori and go in there and kind of break it up, right? Just nice and gentle, nothing too major, nothing too severe. Just go ahead, give her a little choppy. Figure out which side you want facing which direction. Try to stick it as far to the back as you can. That way we've got plenty of room for our violas to go in the front. There we go. All right. Now, very simply, I don't have a whole lot of room for violas, but I do have some room, and by golly, I'm going to go for it. So again, this is the Color Max Beacon Rose. Color Max series, I've talked to you about them before. They are a great series of violas in the fact that they are more heat tolerant and they are more cold tolerant. So what that means is that when we have these hot days, because you know, here in the South, we like to keep things toasty, you can feel good about planting these when your days are even in the 80s, right? So if you want to plant some violas, say sometime in, you know, late September, you absolutely can do that, and you don't have to worry about it being too hot and them getting what we call stretching. Also, the Color Max series is more cold tolerant. So that means in, you know, late January, early February, these guys are still going to be blooming. If you've had experience with pansies, sometimes pansies will kind of check out when it's really cold and they won't bloom as well. I have found that violas tend to bloom a lot longer and more consistent in the season, and then the Color Max just takes it up to a whole nother level. So if you can find a Color Max series in your local garden center, I would really encourage you to grab them, pick them up, and they come in a whole range of colors. Of course, the Beacon Rose is absolutely gorgeous because you've got white, you've got a little pink, you've got a little yellow, you've got that really beautiful deep, I don't know what you'd call that, maroon. Just a lovely color. So we're gonna put these in here. So far, I've got 2, 4, this makes number 5. And let's see, I'm gonna squeeze her in just a little bit closer. I'm gonna go for 6. Now your violas are full sun plants. So it'll be interesting in the fact of that my wild berries and my cardoon are nice and big, so they may shadow them a little bit. Time will tell. We'll see. It's all an experiment, right? So I'm going to use a total of 6 violas in here. As long as everybody's nice and happy and they just grow really well as they should, with the biotone and this fresh, beautiful soil. I am going to top dress back with my Land and Sea. Got leaves everywhere. They will get really, really full. Like this whole container is going to get nice and full, and it will take me all the way through the springtime, because that is a great benefit of living in the South, is that we can do pansies and violas and they will continue to bloom through the winter. I know if you live in colder areas, and we have customers that have moved from, I don't know, New York, Pennsylvania, you know, Colorado. We have people come from all over. And it's kind of foreign to them that we don't sell violas and pansies in the springtime. We don't. We're actually ripping them out. We're like, you're done, because they are cool weather annuals. They like the cooler temperatures. Our winters are not that extreme. They are very mild compared to other parts of the country. And so these guys are living their best life, you know, in those cooler temperatures. And as soon as the heat hits of May, early June, they're done. They're like, it is hot. I've had a great life. Thanks for hosting me this winter. I'm done. I'm going to make room for my friend, Miss Petunia. And Miss Petunia can come in here. So that is why we plant these in the fall and don't offer them in the spring. It really is because when it hits the springtime here, your shelf life on these plants is going to be very, very small. All right, we're going to clean everybody up. Everybody's got some nice Land and Sea. So all I have to do now is get my hose link, and I'm going to water everybody. I'm going to water everybody in. If I need to in late December, January, February, and I notice that maybe my violas are looking a little, maybe they're looking a little yellow, a little sad, I will hit them with some water-soluble fertilizer, because that is what they need, is a little shot of food to get nice and green and put those flowers on again. So I can shoot it with that. Other than that, once the rains will ever start coming, then I can walk away from this and never touch it till the springtime. Now, obviously I'm going to water it in really well now, but we are having an unseasonably dry fall. Typically our falls can be really, really wet, and so I really wouldn't have to worry about it then. Until the rains come, I will need to water it, but even watering would be, I'm going to water it today. I may come back in 3 or 4 days and water it again. We'll just see. You want your soil moist, not soaking wet, not dripping, not saturated, moist, not bone dry. It's a very delicate balance. All right, I'm going to clean up, get the hose, get these watered in, and then we'll take a final look at everybody. Okay, my friends, so today's project is complete. That is what is great about keeping things simple in the garden, is that you can get in and you can get out and you can feel very, very accomplished and being outside in the garden for a short amount of time, but being very productive, shall we say. So both of the containers have been well watered. They are great, like I said, unless it rains within the next couple of days, which, you know, it's a little iffy around here. I'll just come back through, shoot them with some water, and everybody will be very happy with that nice biotone in there, the Land and Sea, fresh soil, of course, the fresh Proven Winners potting soil and the rectangular one. Everybody will be happy. Cool weather plants will grow, be full, nice and lush, give me some fun color here in the garden. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up as far as the planting for today. Now to the fun stuff, the shopping portion. So yes, if you will go to our website, gardeningwithcreekside.com, you can click on the shop tab and there will be like a merchandise. You can go there and you will see all of the fun things that we are now offering. So let's just start from the top and work our way down. All right, so Jerry and I are very particular about our hats. We have found the Legacy brand of hats years ago. Those are our absolute favorite hats. These are like one of the called like the trucker hats because it does have the mesh in the back. It's not a solid canvas. But what we love about these hats is that the mesh is very soft. It is not hard, it is not plasticky. It forms to your head really, really well. So we got the Legacy hats. We have them, of course, in the hot pink. Then we have a blue and we have a black. Those are kind of, the blues and the blacks are a little bit of a faded color. They're not like a solid true black or a solid, I mean, it is a solid blue. It's more like on the denim kind of look color. Go to the website. We'll try to throw a picture up and you can see. So if you're interested in that, you can get those. Of course, they just have our Creekside Nursery logo on them. So the hats, and they are one size fits all, adjustable in the back, super, super comfortable. Love, love, love these hats. T-shirts and sweatshirts, we have those available as well. The sweatshirts that I was wearing, we just are going to do them in black. We're keeping it simple. Both the t-shirts and the sweatshirts are from League. That is the brand of the clothing. Again, extremely comfortable, washes really well, it wears well, and comfort. I'm all about cute and comfy, right? So the sweatshirts are going to be in black. It is a solid black and it is a unisex. So we will have those in the sizes available on the website that you will find, but they are unisex. So Jerry and I wear the same ones. They are true to size. I'm a small, he's a large. There you go. Again, it has the Creekside logo on the front, and then just like the t-shirts, I will model it for you. On the back, we have the barn with the Gardening with Creekside logo on the back. Again, keeping it simple. The t-shirts come in two different colors. This is like a charcoal, like a heathered charcoal. So it's in that gray family, but not a solid gray. It is that kind of that heathered look to it. And then we have one in a green. It is like a Kelly green. It is nice and bright still. Creekside Nursery logo on the front and the barn Gardening with Creekside on the back. Again, they are unisex sizes. I would say that they are true to size. So if you like them a little roomier, go up a size. I am in a small, and so it is, I would say, kind of a fitted small, right? Even though it is a unisex shirt. Jerry can go anywhere from a large to an extra large. Extra large is a little roomier for him. So I said, well, just depends on what mood you're in. You can pick a large or an extra large. But they are a tri-blend. It is not 100% cotton, so they are extremely soft, extremely comfortable, and they're not going to shrink in the washing machine. Again, we have used League, just bought as consumers when we go out to various places, because I do, as you probably know, when we go visit places, I love getting a hat and I love getting a t-shirt. So that way I can share my travels with you later on in videos and things. So we have used this brand for years and years. Again, between the Legacy hats and the League t-shirts and sweatshirts, we just love them. So you can go check them out. We will get them shipped out to you lickety splits, because we know that the holidays are coming along. These will make great gifts, with Christmas gifts, birthday gift, anniversary, because I love you, or I just thought you would want to have one. You know, whatever kind of occasion it might be coming up, we will have them available for you as the stickers. So people have been asking about the Creekside stickers. They too will be available, that you can go and purchase them right now. So head on over there if you're interested in shopping of that. And of course, those will stay on the website all the time. And but yeah, so if you want it for Christmas, go ahead and place that order, and that way we can get it out to you right away. As always, thanks so much for Gardening with Creekside. Thanks for all your love and your support, your encouragement, and coming along with this crazy ride that we call life. We so appreciate you. You have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.